what I'm hearing is that you may easily see this as someone who could be in disbelief that you don't have any suitors. But there's something deeper under the surface that's taking place here. What I heard was that someone is wondering why nobody else is consuming you the way that they're consuming you. And this is the image that I got. This is somebody who, for a long time, has been watching in the sidelines, and maybe you could say it's where they come from or how they first interacted with you, but this could also be attributed to the fact that they have a confirmation bias because they for so long held their breath and watched you, and they excused it as wanting to protect themselves or as having seen something about you that they didn't really see in other people. But I'm getting the sense that this is someone who has been trying to escape how they actually feel about you. And the way that they're doing it is very strange because they're not pulling away or, dating somebody else or looking, at you in a negative way directly. They're wondering why other people aren't seeing what they're seeing. And the oscillation is so vast, their negative emotion, it can only be matched with their positive emotion for you, and they can never seem to find this calm, stable ground about you. For some of you, this is someone who's fetishizing you in some way. The mannerisms that you have, your race, your career, something about you that they feel like, especially if they met you, it's like they thought they saw somebody from the movies, like somebody who crawled out of the screen and who is just sporting this character that they've never seen before, or this energy that they've never encountered before, and they had no clue how to mitigate it, how to handle it. They had no clue how to be needed by that kind of energy. And just because they could not process it, it doesn't mean they were able to ignore it. Because they couldn't process it, they couldn't ignore it either. So they kept watching you and perceiving you, and they tried to watch you through other people's eyes. Like, they felt like they were seeing something about you that nobody else was seeing. Like, they were hyper-sexualizing you or hyper-animating you in a way. And it's like they weren't seeing other people reacting in the way that they were feeling about you. You know what's even interesting? This is somebody who may have come across a mimic, somebody who's tried to mimic you, somebody who knew you closely, or someone who tried to act like you or come off or pass like you. They knew them, and for some of you, they may have even been intimate with them. But it's like that doesn't check out for them. There's something about you, and it's very karmic. There's something about you that they have been chasing. For some of you, this is someone who has done unsavory things. Let's just put it that way. This is the case of someone who doesn't even know that they're a hater. They don't want to accept the fact that they're magnetized, helplessly so. And just so that their time and space isn't consumed by the positive energy that they feel, they're believing that the stuff that they're magnetizing about you, the stuff that they're blowing out of proportion about you, and this could be your body, your lips, your culture, your heritage, your job, your mannerisms, something about just the stuff that people look at you and they just overlook. They look at you and they're like, just normal. Stuff like that really gets on this person's nerve. I don't know how to explain it to you. Because they think they're being reasonable and that everybody else isn't seeing it. But if 100+ people don't see what you're seeing, maybe it's actually your eyes. And the thing that Spirit wants this person to know is that they're dealing with a paradox. They're dealing with somebody who embodies themselves, their duality very seamlessly. Someone who can be so full of rage and full of love and know how to express it in a very transmuted way. They're dealing with somebody who isn't easily digestible because they're multidimensional, and they don't cut up their shadow to be handleable. They don't cut up their shadow so that people don't get scared off. They shine bright, and they operate in a very childlike element that can easily be mistaken as somebody that can be accessed, possessed, or taken care of. But they're not. That's like the paradox of this person, of you perhaps, if you're this person. And this viewer, this watcher of some sort, doesn't seem to get that. They're very one-dimensional, but they think they're reasonable. And for a lot of you, it's because they've built their life on this kind of foundation where a lot of the things that have challenged them, a lot of the people that have been seen as unsavory, maybe the culture they grew up in actually would support them. But they don't understand that they're very small-minded. So if you're an artist, if you're doing something remotely exposing, remotely challenging in their eyes, if you're an artist, they're constantly questioning your voice, your paintings, your work. They're constantly wondering about, above all else, why nobody else seems to be doing the same questioning that they are. Why nobody else seems to be, quote, challenging you the way that they think you need to be challenged, or seeing you the way that they think is too obvious for you not to be seen. It's the case where it's like, if you're an LGBTQ member, this is the case where someone is looking at you like, oh, damn, this person's gonna be 8, and then you're not. You walk into the place, like if you're a drag queen, you walk into a place and this is somebody who would assume that something bad is gonna happen to you and nothing happens. And they're just like, literally stunned. And you know what the cake is? The cherry on top of the cake? They like you. They like you, they like you, they fell for you. They fell for you in such a profound way. They fell for you before they even came across them. Before they even made themselves known to you, if they ever had the guts to do so. They fell for you, head over heels, lost all their teeth, but didn't even realize it because they can't feel their face. They don't know what they're looking like around you. They don't know. And they can't accept that. It's like this person's shadow is so big and it's never been seen. They haven't really seen it. And it's been well fed by a community that they've surrounded themselves with, by the people, the maternal figures especially, or the community that they've surrounded themselves with, that has a very tight grip on narrative and how like somebody gets judged and it's like that's it. I don't know if this person comes from an Eastern country or somewhere, yeah, in the Eastern countries where there's like a lot of criticism and judgment and honor involved in families, and it's like they were dead set that you were going to be eaten alive, especially if you're putting out work or if you're exposing yourself in some way. If you're like going out there doing your thing, this is somebody who was watching you, wondering, oh God, how is this person doing it? They're gonna be eaten alive, and then you don't get eaten alive. But watching you from the sidelines is actually making this person crazy. I don't think they understand this. And for some of you, this is someone who might actually not be able to take it anymore and might try to sort of inject themselves into your life. Because whether you know it or not, when this person approaches you, they have been watching and injecting themselves in very indirect, unsavory ways. Whether it be obsessively watching your content and just doing all sorts of things with it, or trying to share you with other people to see what they think. It's like, don't they have 2 legs to stand on? Can't they stand on their own 2 legs and see you and realize the fact that they were taken? They were taken and they couldn't accept it. It went straight into the subconscious. It didn't even process in their head. And you know why this is? Because they couldn't process the feeling of lack inside them that was bumping up against their very well-formed self-confidence. And you were the challenge. You were this paradox that was standing in the middle, telling them things don't have to be that way. So they exaggerated your mannerisms, your body, your behaviors, everything, in order to justify something to themselves that isn't there. They're waking up now. At least they have to.